So leading on from that then, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges that you faced or are facing the industry when moving to more sustainable building design?
Yeah, well, I think we just touched on one there, and it's about the education of people within the industry, and I think first and foremost it's the client, it's the people that are ultimately funding the investment in whatever building it is, whether it's a private home or whether it's a commercial development. It's helping them understand the why, and more often than not in these scenarios, cost and budget are going to be a big factor. But it's helping them understand actually what are the longer term benefits of this, and helping them understand that sometimes it isn't all about cost. It's what are the kind of subsequent ramifications. So taking the example of a domestic project, it's actually what's the actual living comfort going to be like? What's the internal environment going to feel like actually if you take these extra steps to design your building with sustainability in mind. And sometimes it can only take a bad experience for somebody to appreciate that fully, which is a shame. But it's helping them understand the why, I think, is really critical to encouraging them to invest in it. I think beyond that, you've then got education of contractors as well. So the people that are actually, it's probably the most critical element. If a building is designed in a certain way but is not installed as it should be, it's going to fail. And then you've spent a load of money on something that isn't working. So that's probably one of the most critical elements is making this education readily available and encouraging contractors and builders to enroll on these courses to understand how to implement and install the measures that are being designed initially. And some of that falls back on us as the designers as well, because it's about how we communicate that with them and making sure that our information explains to them how to install it. So I think there's tons of room for learning in that department from the aspect of us as the designers and as them as the installers. And then finally, I think the education of the end user as well. So they're the people that ultimately, once we've designed the building beautifully, it's been installed perfectly, we hand this building over to them, they then need to understand how to use it. Because if they don't use it right, it's going to kind of defeat the object of everything that we've done up until this point. Take the example of MVHR units where we've got a system that's designed to replace fresh air within a building. But then the moment the client suddenly starts opening all the windows in the house and completely messes up the internal balance of that environment, it sort of defeats the whole object. So it's helping them actually, once we've handed it over to them, for want of a better analogy, that instruction manual as to, well, how do we use this building now, and education again for us as to how to communicate that to them too. So I think education is the biggest problem and challenge I think that we're facing.